Oh my goodness, Najee, Kenny Pickett also, and he banks out. No, oh my, what's going on? Let's go, TD! What the hell was that? Let's go! Feed it! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Oh my goodness, I love that. Even though it's like me reacting to me, but like I was fired up, man. I was fired up. G'day guys, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. Welcome in Daredevil, welcome in Patricia. G'day Michael as well. Michael, man, some reason we had you blocked. I don't know why. It wasn't me. It might have been one of the mods. I'm too sure what happened the last, I don't know, month or so. But I went through my block list and I was like, what? You're blocked. So you've done, just to let you know, you've done nothing against me or this channel that I don't think is like too crazy. I know we disagree on Mike Tomlin being the head coach and stuff like that. But yeah, I looked through it and I was like, you're blocked. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just wanted to clear the air. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So let's move forward. It was a mod. Oh, I'm gonna ban one of those mods. But no, it's all cool. It's all cool. These things can happen with like obviously a lot of misconfusion, I guess too. Like I think with the internet, right? This may sound funny, but like I'm the only real one who can show emotion. Like I hate you. Like I don't mean that, but you know when you write in text, you can't put context to text. So yeah, just want to start the episode off with that. But welcome back. Is that you in a ghillie suit? I couldn't see you. Take away the wrench. No, I won't. I won't take it away. But yeah, you can't have any. There's no context, right? There's no. That's what's so funny about the internet these days, and I think why so many people get into arguments and stuff like that because you're only reading what the other person is saying, but in your own voice. You know what I mean? All right, let's move on. Let's have a bit of fun today. Patricia in the house too. All our mark. Today, guys, we're talking about the second-year players. But I do want to bring up, any kind of news that comes up. I think I did the breaking news video on Glenn Thomas the other day, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Assistant offensive coordinator to Matt Canada. So that's quite exciting. The guy used to be a Falcon. Used to play with the Falcons and Matt Ryan back in the day. And I want to go and check the coaches too, because I had a good comment from Rod. And Rod said to me in one of the comments saying that the Steelers have too many coaches. But in fact, the Pittsburgh Steelers only have, I think, 19 or 20 coaches, right? In the NFL. And that's like the second to least. So, and the same time, though, I always get into a funny discussion with my dad because my dad's always, he watches the game sometimes, right? And when he does watch the game, he's always so intrigued and so amazed by how many people are on the sidelines. So you've already got 54 players. You have all the guys that are injured or on the practice squad, maybe hanging around the refs and stuff like that. Then you have over 20 coaches. So for a game that plays 11 on 11, you have what? Probably 70 to 80 people each side on each sideline. And in the NFL, the Steelers hold, I think, the second least coaches. So of course, you've got Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada, offensive coordinator, who needs to have a big year. This with everything that's been happening with the Steelers, Matt Canada needs to have a big year. It has to be a lot better than last year, right? You have on the offensive side, you have running back coach Eddie Faulkner, you have wide receiver coach Frisman Jackson, Pat Meyer, who I think improved the offensive line a lot last year. He's been in the game for 20 years. You have Alfredo Roberts. He's been in the game a long time too, 20 years. Mike Sullivan, quarterbacks coach. He's been there a long time, I think, with Big Ben when he was there. Now you have Glenn Thomas, offensive assistant coach. What does that mean for the Steelers? Is he going to help out, run the plays, design plays, that kind of stuff? I hope so, because we need some creativity. We need something to be like, hey, Matt Canada, you're not the only guy sharing plays here and there. Someone else can spark it up and get the ball to Pickens. And we're going to talk about Pickens today too. Actually, we're going to talk about a lot of second-year players. Pickens, Kenny, and Connor Haywood. You got David Corley, assistant quarterback coach, and Isaac Williams, line coach. That's the offensive side. Defense, you have Austin, Grady Brown, secondary coach, Aaron Curry, a new guy coming into the team as well, for a former Seahawk, right? Inside linebackers coach, Carl Dunbar, who's been a legend for many years, and many people respect him in Pittsburgh. Outside linebackers coach, Denzel Martin and Gerald Alexander. They gave him a new title, but he was there last year. And the Steelers, of course, got 20 interceptions last year too. So he's a defensive backs coach. And Jason Brooks, I think he's the new bloke from the Ravens. So when people say there's not much happening, there's a lot happening. The Steelers got about 10 players from free agent period, and they've got 2 or 3 coaches come in from different areas, right? Then to end, you got Danny Smith and Matt Tomshow, whoever that bloke is, quality control coach. No idea what that does. And Garrett Jamont. So they're all the coaches, man. They're all the coaches. Yeah. We have one of the smallest ones, but that's all right. All right. G'day, A-Rules. What's going on, mate? We certainly do. I'm not doing too much, to be honest. I don't know. Just, yeah, my friends and stuff like that, or my family's going out for lunch. Actually, I'm just kind of chilling, man. I don't really, to me, it's just another day. I'm gonna probably do the podcast here, have a bit of lunch, and then watch some TV, and then go out and drive Uber Eats at night. Like, to me, it's another day. I just chill out, and then tomorrow, do some videos like I normally do, play some pickleball, go drive Uber Eats. It's just and you know what? I'm pretty content with that right now. That's kind of like my life at the moment, is like going outside and, running around town. So I'm pretty content. Gonzalez visited Pittsburgh today. Would be pretty cool for him to trade up. That's another thing we might talk about too. What's the possibility of Omar Khan? When I say Omar Khan, what's the possibility of the Pittsburgh Steelers trade up? It's not just Omar Khan; it's the whole team. I wouldn't mind it, because I feel like the whole team this year has put together pieces where they probably could do that. And there's got to be a reason for it. Yes, they did it for Devin Bush. That didn't work out. But they realized that problem and got rid of him. They're lucky they didn't sign him again. So I wouldn't mind if they trade up to get Gonzalez at cornerback, solve that issue, and then have a good draft after that. You know what I'm saying? G'day, Joey. What's going on? Jets just signed Packers quarter. He was a backup. Jets just signed the Packers backup quarterback. He was backup for Rodgers. Who's that? What name is he? What's his name? And yeah, I saw that news today too. Jason Hassenauer as the Giants center has become a need. Okay, let's look at the Steelers depth chart, and then we're going to crack into some of the players too. It's so funny, man. I don't know. The Steelers aren't doing anything. There's so much happening. It's actually hard to keep up with how much is happening. Okay, so you got Mason Cole. I did hear, and a shout out to my mate Sean. Right, if you guys want to be a member, and we have a members only Discord if you want to, so feel free to do that. But Sean Manahan in the members Discord, he talked about in a comment. I might be able to bring it up or highlight it. Maybe I can bring it up. He said to me in a conversation, just talking about football. He said J.C. Hassenauer's left. Now Herbig could be backup guard / center. What are you guys' thoughts of that? Could the Steelers use Herbig, have Mason Cole? You know what, too? Okay, another sidetrack. Right? I don't see the idea of James Daniels being a center. I keep seeing that. I keep seeing Marlowe, left guard. I think he's there. Then I see James Daniels center. Then I see some other videos out there saying they want Herbig at right guard. I think the Steelers like Cole. I think they like what he did last year at center. Let me know what you guys think. I just don't see it, man. I honestly don't see it. G'day, Gene. What's going on? I really don't see how you put Daniels at center where Daniels played really well at right guard. Just leave it the way it is. Mason Cole center. Yes, he's got 1 year left, but see how that turns out, right? The Steelers might go into the draft and get another center, but you got Marlowe at left guard and use Kevin Dotson possibly as trade. You could trade him or possibly use him as backup. It's not bad. Not a bad idea. It's not bad to have guys on depth like that. Use them for different scenarios because players will go down. But I've seen straight away that certain depth charts have James Daniel moving to center and then having Herbig at right guard. But I don't mind if you have Nate Herbig and Kevin Dotson as your backups. That's not bad at all. The key question is will Kevin Green, I always say Kevin Green, will Kendrick Green stick around? That's a key question, right? So do I. I didn't see much. I like, I'll tell you what, sometimes the way how players interview and how they're pumped up to be a player, that can also reflect on the field, right? He was a bit of a mauler last year, right? J Devil says, oh yeah, well, like that video you said. You said you don't pick it 2 days ago. Challenge not to click, and I did. 100%, man. That's the world we live in, the age of clickbait. And I never clickbait, but I just wanted to give an example how crazy AI can be. Like the fact that I can do AI with this bloke here, right?
Good day, mates. Welcome to Steelers Nation Australia. The old saying is if you can't beat M, join M. Whatever I...
Right. I made him sing Bon Jovi. So yeah, I'm just a lot of stuff that I do. There's hidden meanings behind stuff I do. Everything I do is for a reason, if that makes sense. I would never intentionally clickbait someone like put a picture of Bud Dupree and say the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed Bud Dupree to a 2-year deal. You know what I'm saying? I would never intentionally do that. Yeah, man. But I'm doing it to show that it's out there. Because there are so many AI channels now. I think there's about 15 or 20 channels that do AI. And do you know how easy it is to do? How easy it is to actually anyone can do it. You can go and buy an AI website. You can grab the articles, chuck them in, get a voiceover, download the video, then upload the video and put it on YouTube. And then tag it all up, and then the next minute you're making millions. Maybe not millions, but it is really easy to do. So I'm more or less taking the piss. I'm actually taking the piss out of it, basically. So yeah, that was a bit of fun the other day. But back to the point, and then we're going to get into the second year players for sure. Where to go, mate? Where to go? Yes, it's a little unpredictable what Khan and Wild can do with the moves. I agree. I'm just going to see what's going to happen. I'm just keen to see what happens. But I think Mason Cole will be there at center. I think James Daniel will be there at right guard. I think Trooks will be there as well. Possibly Dare Moore still there, and I'm okay with that as well. And I think you have Ciamalo is going to have a left guard spot because they're paying him so much money and he's a superstar. Right. Alrighty. Okay. Who's coming in? I agree with you too. The AI stuff scares me a bit too, because there's even a point where you can put a photo up of yourself and I could have like me talking, but an AI version of me. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can have an AI version of me. So, yeah, and their clickbait is insane. It is. Their stuff doesn't even make any sense. All their videos don't make any sense, to be very honest. It's guys like in Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil. You know, I'm not saying that they don't have. You can't make content over there. I'll make it here in Australia, but these people aren't fans. They just grab articles from websites and put it into an AI machine, turns into audio, and then the next minute you have a video, and people are getting the news from that source, right? But the one thing it doesn't have is the heart and soul of a real Steelers fan, and I'm a real Steelers fan. But let's get back to football. Joey Weaver says, I can't wait for football. Me too, man. So today we are going to look at second-year players. And I'll have a picture here. Do I have a picture? No, I don't, because I'm lazy. Yes. Okay. So this, the draft was last year, 2022. And I might even do this next week too. We'll look at the 2021 draft, right? Here's who we got, or who we have last year. And you think about this. If some of these players turn out in the second year, this could be one of the best drafts in a very long time. Here we go. So of course you got Kenny Pickett, and we're gonna go through these one by one. Kenny Pickett, quarterback from Pittsburgh. George Pickens, DeMarvin Leal. I think he showed some promise. We'll talk about him in a minute. Calvin Austin, Connor Haywood, Mark Robinson, and Chris Oladukin. The only one that doesn't really make too much sense, or that was probably a dud pick, was Chris Oladukin. And to a certain point, you kind of wish somehow they could have kept him, but I think they'll be able to find a round 7 quarterback in this draft to be a backup or to be a third guy at least. Like, I'm not too worried about that. If the Steelers keep Trubisky, I'm okay with that. Yeah, if they keep Trubisky, I'm okay with that, right? So let's start with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett at quarterback. What are you guys' thoughts about Kenny Pickett? If I take away this thing here, what are your thoughts about Kenny Pickett? For me, I like, you know what I've noticed in the offseason so far? He's throwing the football a lot. He's working with the team, Deontay Johnson and the fellas down in Florida. It seems like in the interview he had with Teresa Varley that I covered the other day on the AI video, he seems like he's buying in 110%. And what I mean that is, like, he wants to play football. He wants to play football for Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh native. He's buying into this game, into the Steeler way. He wants to play. I can really see it. He's going out there and doing the extra stuff. He talked about going in when he walked into the building when it was, dark and dreary, and he walked out at the same time from like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Puts all the hard yards in, does all the study, doesn't overstudy, just does what he needs to do to feel confident. And I like that. I think anything you do, if you put your mind to it and if you study enough, you don't need to sit there for 45 hours. Just sit there enough to learn everything. And once you feel confident, go get a coffee and chill. Like, what's the point of being? I remember when I was in high school, people were like, how many hours did you study? It wasn't about the hours that I studied. It was about what I was studying and how much and what I was trying to do to accomplish my goal. And then I even look back and go, why the hell did I even stress about high school too much? It didn't make any sense. That's another sidetrack. But what I'm saying is I like him, man. I think Kenny Pickett is the guy. I think Kenny Pickett, he had a pretty good end of the run last year. Now, we can all look at stats, right? And Kenny Pickett was 389 attempts, 63%, 2,400 yards, 6.2 average, 57 longest pass, 7 TDs and 9 interceptions. But a lot of those interceptions came at the start and 27 sacks. But what I do like this year is he gets a clean start, gets a clean offseason. He gets his players into year 2 to year 3. Najee Harris gets a better offensive line who are maulers with Herbig and Ciamalo, and let's go to work. But the key is, and now we have the other bloke, Glenn Thomas, coming in to help him out. So that we're getting all these pieces around him, and hopefully the draft can help us out too. But can Matt Canada make that next step? Is Matt Canada going to put the ceiling on his head and say, you can't do too much and push him down? Or is he competent enough to allow Kenny to go be Kenny? That's what I want to see. I want Kenny to go out there and sling the football, play action pass, move around, find GP, and get this ball moving. Like, that's what I want to see. So he's not a bust, anything like that. Who just came in? G'day, Brian. What's going on, mate? How are you? Now, let's go on to the second one. So, Michael says, I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about Canada. Prove me wrong too. To me, it's a fresh year. A fresh year with Matt Canada. I agree. Now, let's go on to the second player, which is from memory, George Pickens. I think. Is it George Pickens? Yeah. Now, last year, I was like, who is George Pickens? I remember Pittsburgh Owen told me about George Pickens. He said he was like an absolute dog, right? So pick 52. Second year George Pickens. What an absolute time to be a Steeler fan, to have someone so physical like George Pickens. That to me is absolutely gravy. Kenny Pickett to Pickens was so fun to watch, right? We saw it in the Raven game, the pass over the middle, through the 2 safeties, touchdown. We saw it in the Franco Harris game to end the game. No better way than to find Pickens in the end zone. He's a physical guy. He's got attitude. I just hope, the only thing I hope is don't turn into a diva, because a lot of the receivers do turn into diva, but I hope he doesn't, because we all get so excited for these players like that. like Antonio Brown was a superstar, then he went crazy. Pickens, keep a level head, go smash someone in the face, and you should be fine. I like what Pickens brings to this team. I think he's physical and he can be the number one. I watched a highlight tape the other day, and he high points the ball like no one else. Like he's so tall, lanky, good body control, right? If you were to Claypool came out and said, I'm a top 3 receiver last year. Pickens isn't a top 3, but he definitely could move that direction if he starts playing really well this season, maybe getting 1,000 yards, 7, 8 TDs, lighting up the game, stuff like that. He could be that direction. Like he has got a lot of promise for this team. He's super young. What is he, like 20, 24? Sorry, I just had it. What is he, 24 years old, I think? Or am I wrong? Where are you, George? I don't know. Someone let me know what he is. Is he 24 years old? Kenny's 24. He's 22 years old. He's so young. He's so young, dude. So, yeah, man, this could be a big year for George Pickens. 22 years old. Working with Kenny Pickett. That could be something that and I don't want to be like, okay, throw him the ball every single time. But every time they do throw him the ball, around 70% he catches them. He high points the ball. It's fantastic, right? Oh, man, your comments are going crazy. Did I miss anyone again? G'day, Corb. What's going on? G'day, Dante. What's up? How are you? Okay. Yeah, so No, man. No, man. I'm saying George Pickens could be a top 3 receiver soon. Not now, but soon. So I like him. I like George Pickens next year. He's definitely rising up. He can be a breakout in 2023. I think he'd be fantastic. I think what we got there at 52 last year is a very good pick. So Kenny Pickett, we know there's promise there. George Pickens, we know there's a lot of promise, right? So like I said, we're all excited. We're excited about this draft. Right? A lot of Steelers fans, we're excited for this draft. But you look back at 2023, man, and the second-year players are going to have a good time, and I think it's a great time to be a Steelers fan. There really isn't really a rebuild anymore. If they can solve the issue of offensive line, run the ball a lot better, which they did in 2022. They ran better in the stretch, right? Improve the red zone area, get the ball to move, find Pickens in the end zone, run the ball into the end zone, stuff like that. We're sweet. There wasn't really a rebuilding period, I don't think, as much as some Steelers fans wanted us to tank and that kind of stuff. Anyways, next player, DeMarvin Leal. Right, DeMarvin Leal. I want to check with DeMarvin Leal because I want to find out how many games he played. I think he missed quite a few games with injury, right? And on the depth chart, they've got him behind Larry Ogunjobi, but I feel like number 98 played nose tackle too. I feel like they played him in certain situations because you have on the depth chart that I use called Our Lads has Larry Ogunjobi, nose tackle, you have Montravius Adams, and you have Hayward. So, let me know in the comments, guys. Is he more of a defensive end or is he more of a nose tackle? Because I feel like I saw him play both spots last year. But let's go to the defense and see how many games he played. Because he only played, it says he played 11 games. So he missed quite a few games from injury. And I think DeMarvin Leal, it was at the start of the season, was it not? So he played 11 games, had 14 tackles, tackle for loss 1. And here's the big one, though, that I like. And I remember seeing this. He had 3 pass deflections, put his paw up and got a pass deflection. So, yeah, what is the role next year? I'll ask you guys this question. I'll pass the buck. I'll pass the mic. What is the role next year for DeMarvin Leal? Where does he play? Is he playing behind Ogunjobi as that rotational piece where 3 come in, 3 come out? Is that where you see him? Let me find out. Oh yeah, I agree. 100%. I think a lot of the receivers, a lot of players do too. I think money changes people, man. You give someone someone signs a $30 million contract to play football, and yeah, they're changing. Like if they're getting paid, I don't know, $15 million a year to play football for half the year, and that's their life. Like money changes people. So hopefully they can just stay this. We just want them. I don't think fans care about the money. Yes, we want to see these players succeed, but me personally, I don't care what they get paid. Just go and play football for my enjoyment. Just play that. So Brian says, with our new and improved O-line, Pickens should be getting the ball a lot more. Let's hope so. Right. Now, thank you, Toddy, mate. Thank you. So Leal is a DE semi-kind edge. He might either have to bulk up or lose weight. Right. So did he ever play any nose tackle? Or is he more or less going to play behind Ogun Joby? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I'm still pretty keen to see what they can do, what they do with him here. And also because I feel like the Steelers are going to draft another defensive lineman. So, and who's going to even stick around next year in this defense? Because right now you have Ogunjobi, Haywood, Montravius Adams, Braden Fahoko, the new bloke who came in, Isaiah Loudermilk's in there, and DeMarvin Leal. Now, the other two dudes, Ren and Marshall, they're not going to make it. But they might go and get a draft guy or maybe even get another guy in free agency. And they might carry 6, 7, maybe seven defensive linemen. So where does DeMarvin Leal fit? That's really my question. Alrighty. So, did I miss someone? Sade? I think I missed someone. Okay, anyway, move on. Next one. Next person. Where is it? Who's the next one? Oh, Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin. Alrighty, Calvin Austin. So, this is the player that I think a lot of Steelers fans were excited about last year. And then he went down in preseason or just before the season, then was put on IR. Matt Canada talked about bringing him back, and then Matt Canada was like, I don't know how to use him. You know, this is going to be very interesting to see how he's going to fit into this offense. He's a speedy guy from what I've seen in the highlights and rookie tape and stuff like that. Speedy guy, quick guy. He's only really short, right? How short is Calvin Austin? Let me see what his bio is. He like 5 something? So he's 5'9", 162 pounds, 24 years old, going to his second year from Memphis. So is there a role where Calvin Austin can do punt return, kick return? Will that be a thing? Does he, do they use him in jet sweeps? You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I hear you. Because when you're going through all the players, you just in your mind, you can't wait to see this offense go crazy. And then you think back to what you saw with Canada last year and how everything was exactly the same, pretty much every game, and they weren't scoring points. But at the end of the season, somehow it was working. They were running the ball much more effectively, which gave them time to then open up the passing game for Kenny Pickett to actually play. So, but at the start of the year, it was like, man, it reminded me of 2021. But near the end of the year, I was getting very hopeful for a playoff run. And I'm kind of happy they didn't make it to a certain degree. Like, to a certain degree, I'm happy they didn't make it because they probably would have got crushed by Kansas City. But this year, if they make it, I think they're going to make a bit of noise. But yeah, you're right. Like, there's no excuses. This is the year that Canada has to have a chance, right? Toddy says, I hope his foot injury won't have an impact on CA3 speed, right? And it's going to be fun. But yeah, where do they put him? Does Matt Canada use him in the jet sweeps a lot? Do they use him in motion? Do we see the motion? How much motion last year did we see? We saw so much motion last year where even I think Noah from All Steelers Talk said that he was there and had a conversation with them, and I was at training camp and said that they do motion just to do it. They move players just to move a tight end from the other side, from the left side to the right. They move the fullback from the right to the left, but it doesn't have any significant play on the field. So where's that difference? You know what I'm saying? G'day, Yuli. What's going on, mate? How are you? All right. So, I know that's different, but how do you feel about putting Connor in the slot? We'll talk about Connor in a minute. But definitely, I'm pretty excited to see Calvin Austin on the field. I think it's going to be Pickens going to be the lead guy. I think Deontay Johnson having like a lesser role, like being number 2 or whatever. He might be having more of a chance to feel comfortable in the offense and get the football and just make some big plays, get some TDs. Hopefully, Calvin Austin's there. I'm excited to see what Miller can do too in training camp. And the Steelers, we know the Steelers, man. The Steelers might go into the draft and go and draft a receiver in the late rounds and find someone who we wouldn't even think of getting And here we are. And I think as well, signing back Gentry for the run game and signing back Muth's going to be fun to watch too. So, man, I am just, yeah, man, I'm keen. I'm keen. Calvin Austin, big question mark, but I'm excited to see what kind of player he could turn into, especially his yak. And yeah, that really depends on the scheme as well. How Matt Canada design and use his personnel. But what was exciting was the other day when Glenn Thomas came in, I went back and watched an interview from his previous team, Arizona, and he talked about how whatever personnel you have to design the play around them. But I feel like sometimes that Matt Canada just designs whatever he wants to design, because every single time we'd see a first, I remember what was it, the 2021, 2022, all you'd see was just run in front of ISO run, halfback 2 yards, boom, 2 yards, 3rd and 7, screen pass. It's like, what are you doing? So expand the offense. So I'm hoping that this new bloke coming in can allow some creativity and get the football to the key players. That is Muth in the middle, Pickens down the sidelines, get him involved. DJ's a great route runner, and get Calvin Austin the ball too. He's got a lot of speed. So yeah, I'm excited to see him, definitely. Now, I think the next player is Connor Hayward, which you brought up too. So you brought up that as well, Claude. So how do you feel about putting Connor in the slot? That could be very interesting. You know what's cool about this question? What's cool? So we got Connor Hayward round 6. That's crazy, man. By the way, Connor Hayward round 6. He's a football player, man. He is one of those blokes that he's a bit like Warren, and we're gonna talk about Warren at the end because he's technically still year 2 as well. Connor Hayward is a bloke that he wants to play football, and I think the Steelers miss that. He can block. He's great to see him on the edge, leading blocks for Warren or leading blocks for Najee. He can catch. We saw that as well. Where was that? He caught his first touchdown in the Saints Stadium as well. I think he beat the middle linebacker between the safeties. Kenny Pickett found him right in the middle. It's so good to see. So Connor Hayward's awesome, right? If we get him for a 6th round last year, that could be a massive, massive like gem. If he turns out to be something great, where he's with his team for a few years, and they can use him at fullback and they use him at slot, stuff like that. He's gonna be fun to watch, and I think he's a guy. Like, he's a guy. So Connor Hayward played in 17 games. He had 2 rushing attempts. I wouldn't mind seeing him get the football more too. He had 27 yards, longest of 21. Longest 21. I think it might have been against the Browns. Was it against the Browns? I'm pretty sure that the massive run was against the Browns. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just burping. But what do you have for receiving? Connor Hayward had 12 receptions, 17 targets, 151, and 1 TD. And he had a 45-yard longest, right? But he does the hard yards. He definitely does the hard yards. So I'm keen to see what they can do in this offense. Here's the question, though. That's right. It was in Atlanta, his dad's old team, right? Currently making my famous chips, cheese and hot sauce. Do you like spicy foods? Not too spicy. That makes sense. I don't mind like a bit of chili on stuff. Like, you have like a chili like beef tacos or steak tacos, and you have a bit of chili in that. I don't mind that at all. I think that's quite nice. Remember, I was up in Queensland, I think at the start of the year or last year, and I ordered these tacos, and they were freaking hot, dude. They had like jalapenos. They had like chili sauce, like that like orange chili sauce. They had chili on it. They had all these things, and it was like hot as. It was hot. It was tasty though. It was one of the ones where you wanted to eat it because you were hungry, and it made you like tear. Like I'd cry. Like, when I get this hot food like that, I just start tearing. I just tear everywhere, right? But yeah, back to yes, the Connor. Connor was versus the Falcons and was awesome. So this guy is a football player, and you look at the draft and what they're doing in the free agent stuff too. They're bringing in guys who can hit, right? They're bringing in guys who can hit. So you got George Pickens who can hit. You got Connor Hayward who can hit. Now let's look at our last player, and then I'm going to talk about Warren too. So our last player was Mark Robinson. Now this fella, this fella, Mark Robinson, there was nobody in front of him. This year there's no one in front of him. There's Holcomb, there's Roberts, right? But I feel like it's a bit of an open competition. I think that Holcomb will land the spot at 55 will wear the green dot. I think he'll be the captain. I think from what I've seen him on playing football and him on tape, I think he'll be one of the middle linebackers. But will Mark Robinson play with him? Because what the Steelers did last year was that when they finally figured out Devin Bush was garbage, they started to play Mark Robinson more. Right? They brought him in to play, and then he can tackle. He's a fierce tackler. Right? So I'm going down to his stats. He played in 4 games. He had 3 tackles for solo, 3 tackles, 9 in total. Right? But those 9 tackles he did have over the last 2 games are physical. Devin Bush didn't want to tackle. Spillane could hit. Miles Jack could play. But Mark Robinson brings that like excitement about it. And also because he's a former running back, I don't think he minds that. He likes the physicality of going down there and being a thumper. Like we all remember the days of Vince Williams. He was fun to watch, man. And even Lawrence Timmons, he was fun to watch too because they could hit someone. That's what I want to see. So Steelers are finding their playmakers. Yeah, dead set. But back to Connor too. Sorry, I missed his point. I thought about putting Connor at tight end, his slot H-back rock. I think so too, because I get this feeling that with Connor Haywood, will they go and sign Derek Watt? Derek Watt still hasn't been signed yet. Are they waiting till after the draft? Are they going to use Connor in fullback sets, in halfback sets, where you have Najee, you have Warren, you have, maybe they could use Nate Herbig as a big fella there. There's, I think Matty Peverill has talked to me about using Kendrick Green at fullback. Do you really need to put a fullback on this roster? Can you just not use a player that's already on the offensive line in short down goal situations where you have like a goal line package, like from the 10-yard line or 15-yard line or whatever? Can you not bring in a big guy to play that role at fullback and just use that guy to make a mess in the middle? And I could see Connor doing that. I could see Connor playing halfback role and getting a chance to catch a football and get some yak too. This is what's crazy because all these players are so talented. But what is Matt Canada going to do with them? That's the big question. All right, so I'm keen to see that. Woof! All righty. That was the one. My apologies. It was the Raiders one. I thought it was just the Browns. Yes, that was the Raiders one. So good. And yeah, he went 6. So I could see him, man. You know what? And I'll ask the question at the end. I'll ask the question at the end. Who's going to have the biggest breakout year, right? Out of all the players. But I guess to end on Mark Robinson, I feel like the Steelers might go into the draft and draft a guy, right? Maybe in the first, second, not first pick, in the second, maybe third pick, right? Draft a guy. But I feel like Mark Robinson might make a play to become a starter. And if he doesn't become a starter, they will find a way to use him because he's so physical. He will make the team. This bloke, if he plays the same way he ended in the last 2 or 3 games, he will make the team as like a third down middle linebacker. So look out for him this year too. All righty. G'day, 808. What's going on? Okay. Now, lastly, to end it, or to near end it, I did look at the players who were in the second year. Of course, there were guys like on the practice squad, Jamarcus Bradley, Des Fitzpatrick, I think, Madry Harper. Also, I caught the interview too. I think it was all Steelers talk with Madry Harper, the cornerback, right? So I'm not going to focus too much on them. Even like Cody White, I think he's in his second year. But there is one guy I wanted to focus on, which was Jalen Warren, right? And this is, I think, technically his second year. Just let me double check. He's definitely undrafted rookie, right? Jalen Warren. He was an undrafted rookie, right? For sure. Yeah, he's only played 1 year. So Jalen Warren too. He's a guy that we didn't draft, found the team, and now he's carved himself a role as the second running back. Right? Came out of nowhere. So yeah, cool. Yeah, it's definitely second year. So let's we got so many players. You got Pickens there. You got Connor Haywood too, right? Najee Harris, the 1-2 set. This could be a very big year for Jalen Warren. We all saw it last year. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite players. Even more better than Najee Harris, man. Warren can hit people. I like the way that he just holds the ball and runs over people. I do like the way that Najee runs too. Najee runs over people and fights for extra yards. But there's something about Warren. I don't know, maybe because he's a bit shorter. You know what I'm saying? And he just lays a smackdown. Like, what is he? 5'8", 215 pounds, 24 years old, wearing number 30. And I think the Steelers have missed that number 2 for a long time. Remember how fun it was with D'Angelo Williams? He was fun to watch too, backing up behind Bell. We had the case of was it Blunt we had? Was it LeGarrette Blunt we had who said see you later, walked, said I don't want to play anymore. So I'm excited to see what Warren can do in his second year. Just let me welcome some of the chat. Sorry, a new person here. G'day, Michael. What's going on, mate? Matt Cunner is going to have them run a swing pass on 3rd and 12. G'day, mate. Welcome to the show. Excellent. 12 and 5. Warren is my preseason underdog of the year on this team. Jalen Warren is related to my favorite Steeler and the dude who was my first jersey. Wait, who's he related to? What? The dude who was my favorite. Have I forgotten something? Who is Jalen Warren related to? Is he? No way. Is he? No way. He's related to Willie Parker, Fast Willie Parker. His father's mother's is a sister of his former what? His father's? Oh, I can't figure that one out. His father's mother is the sister of former Steelers running back Willie Parker. I had no idea. That's why we love him. That's fantastic. I did not know that. That's great. Yes, I didn't know that. Wow. So I guess he's like a cousin or something like that. Anyways, it's in the family. It's in the bloodlines, man. Because how fun was it to watch? I remember when I was a kid, and I think it was Willie Parker like 2005 or something like that, 2004. He was so fun to watch, man. He was just like, boom, see you later. Like, he was excellent. So I love that, man. We need more of that. We need more of that too. I had no idea. About that. That is fantastic. So it says here, Warren won't take no for an answer. Warren might have been relative known as, Willie Parker. That's crazy. What? It's, hang on a minute. It says here, Warren had no idea until approached by reporters about the ties. I didn't even know he was my cousin until I signed here, Warren said. I didn't know who he was. Somebody was like, you're Willie Parker's cousin. I was like, who's that? I didn't know. So he didn't know that Willie Parker was his cousin? That's crazy. I guess it is you know what? I don't know my cousins really that well either. So that's insane. So someone found out the ties. Crazy. Anyways, that's kind of like my wrap, guys. If you guys got any questions, that's kind of like the theme of the show. Will these second-year players rise up in 2023? Now, out of all these players, who are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments below. Who are you excited about? Out of all of them, these are two different questions, really. But this one, we'll go first with this one. Who are you most excited to watch in 2023? Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, DeMarvin Leal, Calvin Austin, Connor Haywood, Mark Robinson, Jalen Warren. Who are you most excited about to watch firstly? And then I'm going to ask another question in a minute, right? For me, if I'm going to say who I'm most excited about, oh boy. It has to be Kenny Pickett. I think it has to be Pickett. I think Kenny leading this team in his second year. I think I'm pretty keen to see. I'm keen to see what Connor can do too, but I think everything can revolve around Kenny Pickett. I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be fantastic to see. Yeah, KP, Kenny. Here we go. Pickett and Warren. All right, now second question. Obviously, yeah, I think Kenny. Okay, that was excited about. Now, who's going to have the best breakout year out of these second-year players? So, different question. Who's going to have a breakout year? Kenny Pickett. Like, who's going to have the best year out of all these players, including Jalen Warren and not Chris Oladukin? Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Leal, Austin, Haywood, Mark Robinson. Who's going to stand out and go, you know what? Oh my goodness. That was insane. That happened? That bloke got 30 TDs and 2 interceptions. That guy got 15 TDs and 2,000 yards. Who's going to have the best year out of all those players? Let me know. Let me know what's going on. Alrighty. Okay. Yeah, dead set. Dead set. Oh, just can't wait. George Pickens, so Connor. I can see that. Pickens, I can see that. I can see Pickens for sure, man. I can see, like, of course you need Pickett to throw the football, but how much will they run the ball to? And like, I don't want to see Pickett throwing the football 35, 40 times and doing what Ben did. Just go out there and play your game, play action. You know, not be safe, but don't put yourself in a situation where you have to come back and throw 45 times a game. I don't want to see that. So Pickens. Donna says Pickens too, but I don't know what the play calls are going to look like. So I'm excited for Calvin Austin, Pickens as well. Now, for me, for a breakout, dead set, it could be, if I'm thinking about it, I'm excited to see Kenny Pickett, but breakout. Ooh, well, Calvin Austin, you compare him to last year, and what's that? Nothing happened. I wouldn't mind seeing Connor Haywood have a breakout. Mark Robinson would be fun to watch too if he absolutely lit it up. You know what? Okay, I'm going to go with my guy, Mark Robinson. I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. I love watching defense more than I do actually offense. I would rather see a guy smack a guy in the face and for a sack, for a 4-yard, 5-yard sack, and then make it 3rd and 15. Then I would rather see a 40-yard pass. I love it. So Mark Robinson, if he has a breakout and he takes the role of the second middle linebacker, next, if Holcomb is number 1, then Robinson could be number 2. I would like to see that. That could be a breakout, but that could be completely wrong because the Steelers will go and draft someone. They'll draft Jack Campbell, and then Robinson will never get to see the field. But that's my breakout. But obviously, I think that the real breakout is probably Pickens. Yeah, the big... The real breakout is George Pickens, man. To see him get 1,000 yards, 10 TDs, and go and win games. Be fantastic. So, Mark. No, I like defense, man. I love defense. Leal could be in there too. But I think the more I said it, with Robinson being my breakout player, who's going to be the middle linebackers this year? We don't overly know. I think it's going to be Holcomb. Do the Steelers go and draft? Do they draft a middle linebacker? And then you have 4. So you have Roberts, Holcomb, Robinson. They're probably not going to bring back Marcus Allen. Do you play someone like that? Does Robinson plays teams? I don't know. I just like that. We'll see what happens. But I think overall, George Pickens is probably going to be the breakout guy. Like, dead set. Like, what did he get last year? George Pickens, what did he get last year? How many TDs again? 6 or something? 4 TDs, 800 yards. If he gets 1,200, if he gets, mate, 1,300, 1,400, 10 TDs, and yeah, I would love to see that. Alrighty. Well, that's the show. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. That was really fun. I might do next week or next podcast or live stream. I might do 2021. Right? I might do that. Because it's interesting just to look at the players who the Steelers got and what their potential is going forward. So, what is the 2021 draft? I've got to refresh my memory. Well, that includes Dotson, right? So Najee Harris, Pat Frymouth, Kendrick Green. Sorry, no Dotson. Dan Moore, Buddy Johnson. Well, he's gone. Trey Norwood. Oh, he's on the edge now. Isaiah Loudermilk, he doesn't play that much really, and Prezi Harvin. So I might do that next podcast and have a bit of fun with that because, mate, that's some of these players. Haven't really worked out. Kendrick Green hasn't worked out. Buddy Johnson not here. I don't think he's here anymore. Is he here? Is he here? Is it Buddy Johnson on the team? I don't think he's here. No, he can't be. Did he come back? No, he's gone. Is he on the practice squad? No. So, anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks, guys, checking out this channel as always. Shacks. Sorry. Oh man, that's a lot of fun. But that was a lot of fun, though. I tell you what, that was a lot of fun. That was a good time. Going back here, this might be if Kenny works out, Pickens works out, Austin works out, Connor Hayward and Mark becomes the middle linebacker. This might be one of the best drafts in a very long time, right? This could be very. Yes, we're excited about the new draft coming up, but looking back to the second year players, they're still only young players, and everyone writes them off. Kenny can't play, Kenny can't do this, but it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Woo! Alrighty, guys. Yeah, that's right. Happy Easter, guys. You guys enjoy Easter over the weekend. Like I said, I'm going to do a bit of driving, bit of Uber Eats. My family's doing stuff, but I just have a normal time. I'm pretty happy and pretty content. Just living the way, nothing too special going on this week. It's really busy, by the way. We get a lot of tourists come down. And like go crazy. Like we get the guys from Sydney. I think like they said like 100,000 people left Sydney in the afternoon. Like boom, come down and they run around us because I'm near all the beaches. So yeah, it should be a fun, exciting time over the next few days. And once this is over, then we have 3 weeks to the draft. So yeah, happy Easter, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, it was a great show. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you. Do you want to see AI or do you want to see? Nah, I'll leave you with this. We're happy to be here, guys. I'll see you later.
It's the Steelers. What isn't there about it? Studs everywhere. Man, I'll play punter if they want me to. Whatever coach tells me, I'll play. Man, I love football. I love to play the game of football. I'm ready to play football. And I'm happy to be here. Just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this team. So I'm happy to be here. I love the game of football. I think it's an art. I think it should be played a certain way. And that's why I love to play the game. I just love football. We love football. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to represent.